Yeah.
So your company bio lists you as a co-founder of Day 9 TV. What role did you play in Sean's business?
Oh, yeah. So I'm running this giant litigation business. We're in the middle of the Madoff litigations. Nick now has an established career in Korea, and Sean's in graduate school um, at USC. And he said to me, I'm I'm thinking of not competing anymore because graduate school is pretty challenging. I've made a series of podcasts for teamliquid.net on strategy, and I kind of enjoyed it. He's like, I'm thinking of transitioning to doing something more like what Nick does. Um, can can you talk to me about how to set up a business? So I actually came out for a 4-day weekend, and he and I walked and walked and walked and walked and talked and talked and talked, and he just asked me questions about how I started up businesses for my investor and what was involved and what the challenges were and how I thought about things. And it was very exciting for me, right? Because I've been doing this for 25 years. And here is my son. He's super smart and he's asking the right questions. Sean and I are very simpatico, so we can like talk to each other in a kind of fast shorthand. He got everything that I was saying. Um, and so I think it was either for Christmas or his birthday, I incorporated him um, as a Nevada corporation, Day Night TV, and it was him and his best friend from college and I. We set this thing up, and then for a long time, I just gave them advice over my lunch hour from the business I was running. But at some point, my father became very ill. My I had we had great parents. Had a hilarious, interesting father and a darling mother who helped me raise Nick and Sean, and were played a really important role in their lives. And they were in their late 90s, and they became ill. And I'm trying to work on the Madoff litigations, and it's all becoming too much. And Sean said to me, "You should just quit and come work with Eric and me full time at Day 9 TV." He's like, "Games are fun. Like, look what a great time we're having over here." So I did it. I moved in with my parents to take care of them while they were ill and started working full time on Day 9 TV. And the first thing we decided we'd do is we would create a community launch for Starcraft 2 for Wings of Liberty. And it's so funny to look back and think now, I literally tried to call up Blizzard and go, "This is your lucky day. We're going to put on a show for you." You know, Sean had said to me, we by now Sean is live streaming. I had this vision for Sean that he could be the Tim Ferriss of gaming. I don't know if you remember who Tim Ferriss is. He's a guy who wrote the 4 Hour Work Week. He had a blog. It had millions of followers. And I was fascinated by this generation of young men who ran these blogs, these financial blogs, these business blogs, and they had these big followings. And I kept saying to Sean, "You need to write a blog. This is my business strategy, right? You need blogs are the future." And Sean's like, "I'm a mathematician. Why would I want to write? I don't want to do that." So Sean calls me back and goes, "They've just invented something called live streaming. And it's perfect. All I have to do is roll out of bed, turn on the camera, and talk. Even if it's terrible, it's too late, can't edit it, it's live. I'm going to keep a daily diary." And he immediately started to do it. And almost immediately had a very large audience. I tried to call Blizzard and say, "Look, we've got this large audience. We're going to put on a community show for you," and never got a call back. Right, probably calling the wrong departments. Don't know what I'm doing. Used to cold calling people. Used to business networking. And I finally said to Sean, "All right, we're going to put this show on, but from a business point of view, I want you to know it's a terrible idea because we don't own this IP and we don't have a license. But family project, let's try it anyway." Um, and eventually, Blizzard actually did lend us some talent, sent out the voice talent to visit us, which we appreciated. But it was a huge hit. We borrowed Sean's college campus because they had a broadcast set up for free in exchange for some mild promotion of the college. And we asked every community, StarCraft community in the world, to make content. And they all did. And it was amazing content. And we decided to have a 12-hour countdown to the launch of Wings of Liberty. And so the day of, And Sean's got amazing stories about this on Day 9 TV. But the day of, we go out to this campus, and to my amazement, people have flown in from all over the world for this thing from the Starcraft community. That's this community. This community is extraordinary. And this great guy, Tom Garcia, who now is actively working in the industry full time, came up to me and said, "Do you need help? You look a little overwhelmed. Do you need help putting stuff on? I put on events all the time. I'm gonna hang some things for you." Organized the crowd of people who were waiting to help me pull up, backdrops on the venue, adjust lighting, set up tables. And it was a three-ring circus. We were serving pizza, selling Starcraft with GameStop. We had a board game area and a console game area. But it was a very ambitious thing. And these community guys totally helped me pull it off. Set up a ticket booth, I mean, just took over, just literally took over. Um, and we didn't sleep for 48 hours. We were delusional by the end, but it was super fun and it kind of put us on the map.
That sounds awesome.
And it was amazing. And we rinsed and repeated that again and again and again. We eventually got a contract with Red Bull to put on their esports events. And I would, go out with Sean to a strange town and we would call up the local StarCraft community and go, "Can you help? We need help." People would drop work. I remember once up in Seattle, none of the computers arrived, and a whole bunch of attorneys left their law firm, StarCraft fans, rented a van on their own, went out to Costco, and bought like a bunch of computers so they could set up a computer network for me in the middle of the workday. So
That's wild.
that's the StarCraft community.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I hear a lot of amazing stories. Not quite that amazing. That's pretty insane. But yeah, no, it's definitely a tight knit community. So you mentioned earlier about your time with Blizzard Esports. So that was a more behind the scenes role